various cabinet secretaries, requested for 296 statements, considered 53 statutory instruments, including the last one that we considered the day before yesterday on the e-government procurement, laid a total of 2,302 papers and considered 148 committee reports, most of them churned by you as a leadership in committees. This is among other business. These are not just statistics or numbers. The numbers represent long days and nights spent by members both in plenary and in committees of the House discharging their constitutional duties. The Speaker have said I must commend these honorable members, because for every report that we have considered, it has taken many of our members many long man hours to be able to consider that business. We have also considered the approval of various persons, including cabinet secretaries and principal secretaries, commissions or commissioners to various constitutional commissions and other public offices. Notably, Honorable Speaker, we have also implemented the recommendations that required the actions of Parliament in the implementation of the NADCO report, which I also shared with the Honorable Kalonzo Musyoka. And to this end, Honorable Speaker, you're aware that this House vetted and approved the IBC commissioners, which is now in place. We have since also passed the other NADCO bills, like the Election Offences Amendment Bill, which we just passed last week, but one, which seeks to amend the Election Offences Act to give effective recommendations and views of the public on electoral justice and election integrity. Honorable members, as we move towards the tail end, or rather the second half of this parliament, we will have for us, there are priority bills that we'll consider relating to that will be proposed by members. Were considered by the previous have our successes, we have our stories of success to tell, but we also have our challenges as a house, as an institution, and also in which I continue to foresee in the foreseeable future that probably we should be able to consider during this retreat. Disinformation. And the issue of misinformation, even with the statistics that I have enumerated, Honorable Speaker, if the public is not involved and correctly informed on the business of the House, our work will usually always be in vain. The public will never ever be able to see our work because of the crippling culture of misinformation and disinformation, and especially in this AI age. And indeed, as the social media and governance space continues to grow, we are reporting now is the click of a button. You do not need to wait for news at the end of the day, or wait for newspapers the following day. At the click of a button and typing, news is out there. We must, as a House, find ways of addressing the issue of false reporting on the business of the House. And I appreciate the efforts the House has put in place to ensure enhanced public participation through social media platforms, much more remains to be done to ensure that there is timely dispatch of information to the public, and not just dispatch of information, but the right information. We will, for instance, recall the fate of the Finance Bill of 2024, which provisions we later passed in the tax laws. Disinformation largely and the public uproar, despite the bill having some very progressive provisions that were intended to, among other things, boost local manufacturing and promote economic growth. And I must take this opportunity also to thank all of us as a House, because later, when we did the tax laws and the business laws in December of the same year, we are able to pass all these bills without any incident and without any loss in the country. What then can we do better? And that, Honorable Speaker, is what I have seen as a principal objective of this retreat. It is my hope that in this retreat, we will have an opportunity to share ideas, and I'm happy to see the Honorable KJ here, who on the program to share with us ideas on what we can do better, especially in communication. And what is clear is that we must work very closely with the media, and this is both the mainstream media and even innovative other channels of media, to ensure this timely dissemination of factual information to the public. And in developing this strategy, Honorable Speaker, we must be guided by the analogy that I've been told many times of some 6 blind men and the elephant. And that story goes that there are 6 blind men who were tasked to touch a lion and say what it is without being told what it is. The first man touched the trunk of the elephant and said, "This must be a very thick snake." The second one touched the ear and said, "It must be a fan." The third one touched the legs and said, "This thing must be a tree." The fourth one touched the side of the elephant, and because of the skin and hardness, said, "This must be a wall." One touched the tail and said it was a rope. Kazi na mokoli omondi. Touch the complete elephant, all of them. Everybody touched the elephant and said what they said. It was, and this is a story of how misinformation and disinformation works. House, the public will always perceive what is out there, truth, and they are right, because that is what they have perceived. And that's why I say our challenge to discuss amongst ourselves and see how best can we communicate, not from the office, the speaker's office or the leadership offices, individually because we all are in media stations. Many a times, Honorable Speaker, I've seen members appear on TV stations and speak to the issues that are before the House based on what they are reading in the media and seen on social media, but not based on the actual facts of what is before the House. More time to read, understand what is before us, so that we are also partakers in the dissemination of correct information. Honorable Speaker, we have stuck because the clerk did allude to the fact that I should many of the issues, but I don't want to take a lot of time, Honorable Speaker. But we have a number of bills that are stuck in mediation. One committee that is yet to be set up. We have challenges where members have been appointed to mediation committees. Some bills date back to 2022, 2023 at the inception of this House and are still stuck in mediation. For instance, the bill that was processed by on food and feed security, that bill is still stuck in mediation, and we need to work on ways to unlock many of these bills. We have now a number of reports. The case in point is the Economic Partnership Agreement, which can need to look into many of those things in during this retreat. We have priority business, Honorable Speaker, that is coming ahead of us. Top is, Honorable Speaker, if you can protect from the chair. Again, parastatals, and you know there are those that have been proposed for merger, others to be wound up. And these are some of the things that are there, plus the issue of securitization. And this air passenger bill is speaking to that. The privatization bill, the IPO on the pipeline is speaking to that.